Hey everyone, ready to dive in with me today?
Absolutely. Sounds good.
We're going deep on the film The Platform,
Right.
using some excerpts from the Retro Rewind podcast and their recent episode revisiting this 2019 film.
Cool.
The Platform is a pretty wild ride, but
It is.
it's more than that,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's a chilling look at society, and we're going to explore why it feels even more relevant now than when it first came out.
Right. Yeah. One of the things that makes it so powerful, I think, is the way it uses this dystopian allegory, this fictional world, right?
Right.
Where things have gone very wrong to hold up a mirror to our own anxieties about things like social inequality and the unequal distribution of resources.
It's really eerie how the film almost predicts some of the stuff we've gone through
It
recently.
doesn't. It really does. And it landed. It's a particular moment.
Right.
If you think back to 2019, global tensions were rising.
Mhm.
The gap between the rich and the poor was a huge topic of conversation.
Yeah.
And then we were hit with the pandemic. So suddenly, those anxieties about resources, about who has access to what, became a lived reality for so many people.
Yeah, I mean, so the film almost foreshadowed the kind of collective unease that we would be feeling just a year later.
Yeah, precisely. And that context, I think, is really crucial for understanding why the platform resonated so deeply with audiences worldwide.
Yeah. And don't forget the rise of streaming services like Netflix, which allowed films like this to reach a global audience much faster than ever before. I
Mm.
mean, suddenly a thought-provoking Spanish film like this could be a conversation topic from Argentina to Japan.
Right. And you saw that happening with Parasite around the same time, right?
Totally.
These bold international films tackling these really complex social issues, uh, really capturing the global imagination. It was like this wave of cinema demanding we look at the world differently.
Yeah, it's true. So, okay, so the stage is set, world on edge, new way to watch films, and then comes this incredibly visceral film, shot in just 3 weeks, mostly on a single set.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. And that single set, the vertical prison, is
Yeah.
the main location. It almost becomes a character in itself, right?
Yeah.
Director Gulder Gastelum uses practical effects to create this incredibly gritty and claustrophobic atmosphere. So no fancy CGI or anything. The audience is trapped right alongside these characters.
And I remember reading about how the platform wowed audiences at the Toronto International Film Festival even,
Oh, yeah.
winning the People's Choice Award for Midnight Madness.
Which is fitting, I think,
Yeah.
considering its intensity and its ability to stay with you long after the credits roll. I think that success paved the way for its release on Netflix in 2020, and that's when it really blew up.
Right in the middle of lockdowns and global uncertainty.
Talk about timing, right? It was like the film captured a collective mood,
Mm.
this feeling of being trapped and at the mercy of a system beyond our control. It made people think, what if this is just a heightened version of what we're already living through?
So we have this incredibly timely film,
Mhm.
and then there's the performances, which really take it to another level.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Ivan Massagué as Goreng, the way he portrays this descent into desperation, clinging to his humanity in a system designed to strip it away. I mean, it's a performance that gets under your skin.
Yeah. And then there's the platform itself, I mean, not just a setting, but
Yeah.
like this stark symbol of inequality, right?
Exactly. Each level of the prison representing a different strata of society,
Mhm.
right? And the food representing resources and opportunities descends from the top down.
Okay.
Those at the top, they feast, while those below are left with scraps or nothing at all. So it's a visual metaphor for how unevenly resources are distributed in our world, right?
You're either at the top enjoying abundance or you're struggling to survive at the bottom. And as Goring descends both literally and figuratively, he encounters all these different faces of this system. Remember that scene where he first realizes the true cruelty of the platform?
Oh, yeah. That's a pivotal moment for his character. And for us as viewers, too.
Yep.
We see the hope drain from his eyes as he understands that he's trapped in a system designed to pit people against each other.
Yeah.
A system where survival often means sacrificing your morals.
Yeah, and each level he descends to just reveals another layer of this broken system, right? I mean, it's not just about food scarcity, is it?
Right.
It's about the dehumanization that happens when people are forced to compete for basic necessities.
And the film doesn't shy away from showing us the ugliness of that competition either, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we see acts of desperation, violence, even cannibalism.
Ugh.
It's a stark reminder of what can happen when people are pushed to their absolute limits.
It really forces you to ask yourself, what would I do in that situation? And that's where the film's power lies, I think.
Yeah.
It's not just entertainment, it's a social experiment playing out on screen. It prompts us to confront these uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world we live in.
And then there's that final act, which leaves so much open to interpretation.
Right.
There's this glimmer of hope, a suggestion that maybe change is possible, but it's ambiguous and leaves you with more questions than answers, really.
Yeah, like is that glimmer of hope genuine or is it just another illusion within the system? And what does it say about us, the viewers, that we cling to that hope, even when faced with such overwhelming evidence of human fallibility?
Well, I think it's a testament to the film's brilliance that it doesn't offer easy answers.
Yeah.
It leaves us wrestling with those questions, and that's what makes it stick with you long after you've seen it.
Thinking about it now, the fact that the platform was released on a streaming platform adds another layer to the whole thing.
Oh, how so?
Well, streaming services like Netflix are designed to keep you consuming, right? They're constantly feeding you new content, encouraging you to binge watch, to keep scrolling, to stay within their ecosystem.
Interesting. That's interesting because, in a way, it mirrors the insatiable hunger depicted in the film, right? The characters on the platform, they're never satisfied. They're always craving more. Just like we're constantly being bombarded with new things to watch, new products to buy, new experiences to chase.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if even outside of that dystopian prison, we're all on some kind of metaphorical platform, constantly striving for something just out of reach.
It's a powerful observation, and it speaks to the film's enduring relevance. I think whether you're watching it in 2020 or 2024, its themes of inequality, consumption, and the struggle for basic human dignity continue to resonate in our increasingly complex world.
Yeah, and speaking of its relevance, I remember reading how the platform was initially, quite
It
polarizing.
was.
Some people saw it as a masterpiece, others found it too bleak or heavy-handed.
Right, and I think that's a testament to its power as a piece of art. It provokes these strong reactions, it sparks debate, it forces us to confront uncomfortable
You
realities.
can't be passive watching it.
No, it demands that you engage with it, grapple with its ideas,
Mm,
and maybe even come away from it slightly changed.
exactly. And that's what great art should do, right? It should challenge us, make us think, push us to see the world differently.
Absolutely.
So it's not just a film about inequality, it's a film about the human condition itself, how we treat each other, the choices we make, the systems we create and perpetuate. These are all themes that the platform tackles head on.
Yeah, and it does so in a way that feels both timeless and incredibly relevant to the moment we're living in. It speaks to something deep within us, something primal and unsettling, and that's why it continues to captivate audiences years after its release.
I know you have a little trivia tidbit for us, straight from the Retro Rewind podcast.
I do. Did you know that the original Spanish title of the platform was El Hoyo?
El Hoyo,
It
interesting.
translates to the hole.
Oh, wow. Which, when you think about it, adds a whole new layer of symbolism to the film. It's not just a platform, it's an abyss, a void that seems to swallow everything and everyone.
Right. It makes you question, is there even a bottom to this hole? Or is it just an endless descent into the darkest aspects of human nature?
It really gets you thinking about the meaning behind the film's imagery and how it connects to our own experiences.
And that's what makes the platform such a rich and rewarding film to
Mm.
dissect,
Mhm.
right? It stays with you. It prompts you to revisit its layers and uncover new meanings each time.
Exactly. And this deep dive wouldn't be complete without leaving you with something to ponder. So you've heard us break down the context, the symbolism, the impact of the platform. Now it's time to turn the lens back on you.
Okay, I like it.
So here's a question inspired by the film, but taking it a step further. If you could bring one item onto the platform, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a question that makes you think about what's truly valuable in a situation where survival is so uncertain. Would it be something practical, something to help you survive, or maybe something symbolic, something to represent hope, or even something to try to help bridge the divides between those levels? What would be your strategy, your message?
I don't know. So much to consider. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And any other insights you've gained from our deep dive into the platform.
It's been a fascinating journey exploring this film, its impact, and its lasting relevance. We hope this deep dive has encouraged you to not just watch, but to truly engage with the art you consume.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes the most unsettling stories can spark the most important conversations.
Yes.
And those conversations can lead to real change. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep the conversation going.